Union Jack flew alongside the Japanese flag at Tokyo Airport as Princess Alexandra descended from a B.O.A.C. Britannia and was welcomed to Japan by Princess Chichibu. She is the widow of the Emperor's younger brother. After the very successful visit to Hong Kong, Princess Alexandra was now on foreign soil. But she was not allowed to feel a foreigner, and at the Imperial Palace, the Emperor and his family dispensed that hospitality for which the Japanese are renowned. And for her part, the young princess has fitted into the role of royal ambassador as if she had a lifetime of experience. Incidentally, this was the first visit to Japan by a member of the British Royal House since the Duke of Gloucester was in Tokyo 32 years ago. "20 miles north of Tokyo is the Imperial Duck Reserve, to which Princess Alexandra was conducted by Crown Prince Akihito. Princess Chichibu added to her photographic collection, while Akihito's brother joined the party. The Japanese claim that duck netting here goes back 1,200 years. Before the netting began, a demonstration of how to catch the wild duck was given with the help of somebody's best hat. The birds are attracted to the lake in large numbers by a decoy. Netting them is easy after a little practice. This place is the only preserve of its kind in Japan, sheltering an estimated number of 40,000 duck. Every member of a royal house visiting the Emperor is taken to a duck netting. The British ambassador was with the party on this occasion. The Japanese appreciated the zest with which the princess entered into all her engagements in their country. Victims of the hunt were 32 duck. Afterwards, the party had lunch. The main course, have a guess. Duck. With understandable pride, the Japanese conducted Princess Alexandra to the temples at Nara. The party was accompanied by priests, all conscious that their religion flourished here 1,000 years before our own Norman conquest. This part of Japan remains untouched by the pattern of Western civilization embraced by Tokyo and the other great cities. The Horyuji Temple, completed more than 1,300 years ago, is the oldest example of early Buddhist architecture in Japan. Millions from many parts of the East have made pilgrimage to it during its long history. Nowadays, unbelievers from the West are not only tolerated, but welcomed. As though Japanese paintings had come to life, geisha girls, against the background of a mist-shrouded lake, walked in the gardens of the Sento Palace at Kyoto, 20 miles from Nara. Princess Alexandra came here to take part in the traditional tea ceremony, one of the most delightful customs to which the Japanese admit foreign visitors. Evidently, in Kyoto, once the capital of the country, nobody just drops in for tea. You settle down to what is almost a solemn ritual, performed with that elaborate courtesy, so essentially Japanese. They tell visitors that the tea ceremony is more than a pleasant social observance. It expresses an Oriental philosophy, emphasizing the importance of the pure mind and tranquil spirit. The tea ceremony couldn't be interrupted even if they had a work break. But it is not weatherproof, and now rain stops tea. But not even that marred the idyllic scene. Indeed, the autumn shower seemed to bring a charm of its own. The girls are trained to entertain visitors, but there was no need to call upon their training. Clearly, the princess made quite a hit with them. And as the geishas are professional dancers and singers, they were soon giving a picturesque performance. Pearl Island, the princess saw the Mikimoto Pearl Cultivation Farm, home of the Japanese cultured pearl industry. They've been artificially produced in China for at least 600 years. But 70 years ago, Kokichi Mikimoto perfected the modern method. But modern though it is, it still uses diving girls to bring up the oysters. No oysters, no pearls. Dressed for work, not glamour, they have to be able to dive into 30 feet of water and stay down at least a minute. It is at that depth that the oysters are bred. On this occasion, the divers were seeking oysters in which pearls had been in cultivation for the full period of 7 years. That is, since they became fully grown at the age of 3. At that age, they have a small bead of mother of pearl put under the shell, and the pearl substance forms round it. It was Mikimoto's idea, and he must have been a rich man when he died 7 years ago, aged 96. What sort of harvest will this little lot yield? In most of the shells, there'll be a pearl of some sort. On the average, 1 in 20 is good enough to be sold. For any girl's eyes, what a lovely sight. Pearl divers are so far removed from geisha girls, there can be no doubt that there must be something about Princess Alexandra that very much appeals to all Japan's young womanhood. She makes a perfect royal visitor.
The massive Temple of the Dawn, to the eye of everyone who sees it for the first time, as Princess Alexandra was soon to do, beckons all arrivals in Bangkok to a land of enchantment. Pathe News was permitted by the King of Thailand to film the Imperial Palace, a rare concession, as the princess from Britain was escorted by members of the Thai royal house. Monks, meanwhile, pursued their religious observances, little affected by earthly considerations. To Princess Alexandra, all this oriental beauty added to the splendors which, in the Far East, seem inexhaustible. Inside the tree myth temple, the solid gold figure of Buddha, 5.5 tons, is one of the wonders of the country. On every side is evidence of the beauty, wealth, and superb artistry in which generations of devout men have expressed their faith. In honor of Her Royal Highness, there was a display of the fawn leopard, whose dancers wear long artificial nails to enhance their grace of movement. Thailand, Princess Alexandra went to Burma, and at the war cemetery saw graves of British prisoners of war whom the Japs forced to build the Burma-Siam Railway. What a tale of war's bestiality these mute stones recall at this now peaceful place. The princess was herself a child, not 10 years old, when Burma lay under enemy occupation. And to her, those terrible times must have seemed long ago as she paid her tribute at the cross made of sleepers laid for that wartime Burma Railway. Sir Philip Hay, in attendance upon the princess during her tour, was himself a prisoner of war and knew some of the men who lie buried here. Bitter memories the names must have evoked. A simple inscription, Bombardier Christian, Royal Artillery, August 1943. One of the wonders of the Orient, the Svei Dagon Pagoda, which must be entered barefooted. By the million Buddhists of Burma, it is the most venerated of their holy buildings. The two principal trustees of the Svei Dagon conducted Her Royal Highness. The pagoda has long been a place of pilgrimage for the devout from all parts of the country. The West has much to learn from Burma. This nation became politically independent in 1948, but under no rule, even enemy occupation, can it ever have been subjugated. Their values are not rooted in the earth. Their hospitality, as the princess knew, reflects their nature, and her charm captivated them. Of lasting benefit to both our countries has been Princess Alexandra's visit to Burma.